I come out to put a hand and help in my nation building. We throw in and this in the garbage can. We throw in and this in the garbage can. We throw in and this in the garbage can. We throw in and this in the garbage can. Hey! Wait now, who you talking about? Till boy? No way about that. Spaceman go to with him. You can't run away. Hold him. Space. What boy? Give it him, man. You talking about Joan Buster? The little black boy will take care of that. Them can't beat me, you know. I tell you that. Garbage for them. We throw in and this in the garbage can. We throw in and this in the garbage can. We throw in and this in the garbage can. We throw in and this in the garbage can. We throw in and this in the garbage can. We throw in and this in the garbage can. We throw in and this in the garbage can.
Grenada, 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 Grenada. Somebody wave your hands and give me praise. Say, we can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down. No, we can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down. Grenada, what you say? We can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down. No, we can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down. Do you know why? For all he has done for me, how he set my spirit free. He even drank a bit of cup for me. No, me can't sit down. From Malachi to Calvary, he took the walk for you and me. Then they nailed him to a tree. No, me can't sit down. Grenada, can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. No, me can't sit down, sit down, sit down. Excuse me. What do you say? We can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down. Grenada, can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down. Listen to me. So no matter what you say about me, no matter what you do to me, see I know I have the victory. So I can't sit down. He placed a fire down in my soul, and the Holy Ghost is in control. The blood of Jesus satisfies. Give me pass and he testify. Grenada, can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. No, me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. My God, can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. I refuse. He's been good to me. I gotta testify. Put up your hands and give him praise. Put up your hands and Grenada, 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 Grenada. Somebody give him glory. No way, I say no way. He's been too good to me. I gotta test. No matter what you say about me, no matter what you do to me, see I know I have the victory. So I can't sit down. He placed a fire down in my soul, and the Holy Ghost is in control. The blood of Jesus satisfies. Please give me pass, let me testify. Say me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. God bless you, Grenada. Put up your hands and give him praise. 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 He's been good. He's been good. Woke you up this morning. Kept you in your right mind. No, I can't sit down. I gotta testify. I make no apology. He's been good to me. Brought me from a mighty long way. Put my feet around to stay. I gotta testify, Grenada. I gotta testify, Grenada. I gotta God bless you, God bless you. I gotta go, I gotta go.
This one dedicated to all Grenadans. Yeah, man, wave your hands. Hey, hey.
NNB, we marching on to victory. NNB, we marching on to victory.
Tell them
and shout.
Jump and shout.
Tell it all about.
Yeah, man.
We shall have the victory.
We must win. Hey.
Jump and shout.
Yeah, man.
Tell it all about.
Everybody.
We shall have the victory. Dr. Mitchell, he will lead the way.
And him and we boss.
Dr. Mitchell, he will lead the way.
A bad man that.
NNP we marching, marching on to victory.
Everybody.
Dr. Mitchell, he will lead the way.
Yeah, man.
Dr. Mitchell, he will lead the way.
Yes, sir.
NNP we marching, marching on to victory.
All right now.
Me and the neighbor,
Yes, sir.
in the house together.
Not change.
Me and the neighbor,
All right.
revealing Grenada.
Yes, man.
Me and the neighbor,
Not change.
revealing Grenada.
All right.
Me and the neighbor,
Okay.
in the house together.
Yeah.
Me and the neighbor,
All right.
holding hand in peace.
Yes, man.
Me and the neighbor,
Not change.
house together.
Straight ahead.
Spider,
Skinny.
But the other day, everybody singing one song.
What they
See
singing?
election coming, they know who they're voting for.
Eh?
But you have a kind of chorus they were singing.
Let me hear.
If NDC win again, we cry it. If NDC win again, we ball it. If NDC win again, we cry it. Oh, Lord. If NDC win again, we ball it. I know.
Me partner Tilly meet me and tell you he vex like hell. He says Spider Green agent go vote back Dr. Mitchell. I said Tilly 5 years now you there, you don't have to vex. And Grenadian people are stupid, they know where to put the X and they singing no cookie eye, no cookie eye.
Who you voting? Tell me, who you voting?
One squad, no cookie eye, no cookie eye. Bring on.
Who you voting? Tell me, who you voting?
Instead of NDC walking to build the country, look how they fighting like dog and cat in their own party. Some NDC supporters say they can't take no more, and they make Tillman get so vexed. Till he fire Joe and they singing no cookie eye, no cookie eye.
Who you voting? Tell me, who you voting?
One squad, no cookie eye, no cookie eye. Bring on.
Who you voting? Tell me, who you voting? If NDC win again, we cry it. If NDC win again, we ball it. If NDC win again, we cry it. Oh, Lord. If NDC win again, we ball it. I know.
NDC say a wind of change was coming in the country. Some people was so sad, some was real happy. If you thought Ivan and Yamali was the worst thing you see, they say NDC is the worst change to hit the country and they singing no cookie eye, no cookie eye.
Who you voting? Tell me, who you voting?
One squad, no cookie eye, no cookie eye. Bring on.
Who you voting? Tell me, who you voting?
TV afraid to call it the casino NMP go win. 5 years now they in power and they don't do
Spider,
nothing.
Skinny. But the other day, everybody singing one song.
What they
See
singing?
election coming, they know who they're voting for. But you have a kind of chorus they were singing.
Let me hear.
If NDC win again, we cry it. If NDC win again, we ball it. If NDC win again, we cry it. Oh, Lord. If NDC win again, we ball it. I know.
Me partner Tilly meet me and tell you he vex like hell. He says Spider Green agent go vote back Dr. Mitchell. I said Tilly 5 years now you there, you don't have to vex. And Grenadian people are stupid, they know where to put the X and they singing no cookie eye, no cookie eye.
Who you voting? Tell me, who you voting?
One squad, no cookie eye, no cookie eye. Bring on.
Who you voting? Tell me, who you voting?
Instead of NDC walking to build the country, look how they fighting like dog and cat in their own party. Some NDC supporters say they can't take no more, and they make Tillman get so vexed. Till he fire Joe and they singing no cookie eye, no cookie eye.
Who you voting? Tell me, who you voting?
One squad, no cookie eye, no cookie eye. Bring on.
Who you voting? Tell me, who you voting? If NDC win again, we cry it.
We are the winning team. We are the winning team. We are the winning team, and we will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP. NNP will deliver. Grenada Insula is our. We will deliver. Poverty rising by the hour. everybody sour. We will deliver. That is why we bring him back Jonah. How you mean? We will deliver. We will deliver. Everybody. We will deliver. We will deliver. You don't know. People wanted change, so we give them change. Now it's big horrors. They wanted dollars.
Unemployment high, for people up slow. For this country growth, and the sea must go.
We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP.
NNP will deliver.
We are the NNP. We will deliver. We are the NNP.
NNP will deliver.
Grenada Inshida is our.
We will
The
deliver.
whole Avati rising by the hour.
NNP will deliver.
You don't see everybody sour.
We
What's
will
your face?
deliver.
That is why we bring him back Jonah.
Every
We
time.
will deliver.
Smile again.
We will deliver. We will
Smile
deliver.
again.
We will deliver.
4 years no investment, can't see no betterment. Only promising, but nothing happening.
Well, how me country run is of great concern. Grenada fall down, so let Jonah return. We are the NNP.
We will deliver.
We are the NNP.
NNP will deliver.
We are the NNP.
How you mean?
We will deliver.
We are the NNP.
NNP will deliver. We will deliver.
Avati rising by the hour.
The house solid and the pillars strong. Don't stop the progress. We moving on. The house solid and the pillars strong. Don't stop the progress. Take a good look around. The house solid and the pillars strong. Don't stop the progress. We moving on. The house solid and the pillars strong. Don't stop the progress. Take a good look around. 95 we rule this country. The new national party. Dr. Kit administration show plenty progress in my land. Opportunity for the young people.
All who say we heading to Bujeju tomorrow night, yeah?
We taking Grenada to a higher level.
All you organize, all your boss yet?
People between me and you. Don't stop the progress.
Your van, your truck, your car.
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. National Stadium. Don't stop it.
We had to stop the stupidness, man. We're heading to Bujeju tomorrow night, yeah?
Don't stop it. General Hospital. Don't stop it. Nurses school.
From 6:30 p.m., Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, he'll be staging a public meeting out there in Bujeju.
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. Don't stop it.
And the progress we're speaking of here is the progress of the new national party, yeah?
It was never easy, so much obstacles that faced with Emily, Hurricane, Ivan.
So we're heading out to Bujeju tomorrow night.
People working hand in hand, did what we had to do to rebuild our nation. Now we getting praises all over the world.
Of course, folks, my name's Sheldon Scott. I'm here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour.
The progress, don't stop the progress, don't stop the progress, don't stop.
You have to keep my eye on the 6 screens that I have to keep my eye on here. So that's why you see I'm looking left, I'm looking right, yeah.
From country to town, don't stop it. So much playing field, small business loans that will.
A special good night to those of you joining us via Noise Radio. Faithful 94.9 out there in Brooklyn.
Don't stop the progress.
Good night to you, Wade, and the entire We Noise circle out there.
Stop it.
Lady Fran! I don't find her here in your Lady Fran.
Don't stop it.
Yeah, hear the steel pan, hear the steel pan.
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. National Stadium. Don't stop it.
Medical station,
Don't stop it. The bus terminal. Don't stop
road
it.
from country to town.
Don't stop it. General Hospital. Don't stop
Small
it.
business loans that will.
Don't stop it. The port expansion. Don't stop it.
We ain't finished yet. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the
So
progress.
we will touch one more before we get into tonight's program, yeah.
Don't stop the progress.
Good night to those of you joining us on the YouTube. Good night to those of you joining us via the Facebook.
Don't stop.
Good night to the kids. Good night to you, Zayla. Good night to you, Exalia. I know you're there with your little your tablet and so on, you're relaxing, listening.
And the pillar.
Good night to you, Neela and Namara.
We moving on.
Zoe, good night to you. I know mommy's hugging you up, but yeah, this hour so mommy giving you a nice little hug. Zoe, good night to you.
The house solid
Deshaun, good night to you, bro. My little bro, yeah.
The house solid and the pillar strong.
Good night to Nadine, Jason, and Shirley out there in London.
For there is a wind of change, it blowing through the Spice Island.
We say we're heading to Bujeju tomorrow night.
And to the people, Mr. PM, don't play with
Some of us, whether we have to walk, we go in.
because the wind is turning around. That's all.
Like all you did only plan how to win. And after that, all you can do are thing. At all, poor people balling, they can't eat a meal. It's like all you deaf and can't hear that still. Still waiting for one project to take off. Like it's zoning as if how them could start. But prepare yourself and bang your belly. Cause the wind turn around heading back for we. So I said the wind of change is blowing in the next direction. Man, the wind of change is blowing back where he came from. Hear the people out on the street. We want kids, we want kids. Man, they say they're tired, they can't take it. We want kids, we want kids. Man, the country balling is sick. We want kids, we want kids. So they need a doctor to come fix it. We want kids, we want kids. Hear the young men out on the block. Man, they say they're tired of the old talk. Listen to them. Every day is blah, 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 blah. That alone. And they can't see action to back it up. Oh, Lord. Woo!
You know what? 4407377. Let me hear from you all. 347-329-3101. Yeah, it's one of those nights, in one of those moods, you know?
PM like the whole country on a halt. Like your cabinet brain lock in a vault. Teachers pondering on what they go do. The pushing program or you cut that too.
Songs familiar.
600 million as they say you have. Why you still living for people to stop? No talk about corruption anymore. Don't fool of yourself, cause the people know. They know, they know. So I said the wind of change is blowing in the next direction. Man, the wind of change is blowing back where you came from. Hear the people out on the streets. We want kids, we want kids. Man, they say they're tired, they can't take it. We want kids, we want kids. All you know.
Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon. How you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine, bro. How are you doing?
A day, man.
All right.
Boss, I seen something that I can't believe that bad, man.
What you seeing there, Papa?
I seen something on minister's salary that's going from $9,000 to $14,000.
Boss, budget.
Bro,
Hold on. Budget
that's
reading Monday.
alleged.
Budget reading Monday. I know nothing to say on that tonight.
Boss, oh God, but if that happening, where them poor people 150, boss.
Boss, they gain them poor people at 200. They ain't gain them back 150. We
But
shame
what is the
them.
150? But boss, by that wickedness and you're making people go?
Boss, yeah, what, eh?
Ah.
I ain't even bothering with the rumors that's circulating right now. I've seen the video with the Prime Minister. And I've heard what he's saying about the addition to the money and the 150 returning with an additional 50. And I've seen what he said. What I will say is this. In politics, I've learned that sometimes it is better to remain silent in relation to certain things and let people say what they have to say, and then you give the response and explain to the general public what is taking place. So you see, in relation to this issue, I have absolutely nothing to say this week. I have nothing to say. I know that, hold on, I know that on Wednesday, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will be presenting his response to the budget that will be delivered on Monday.
I'll be there.
At that point in time, we will know the reality in relation to all of these things that we're hearing. Don't be taken in by some of these things that are just being said to put you in a frame of mind to Monday, to get people interested, because realize people are interested in hearing what they had to say Monday. So they floated several of these things out there to get people interested in coming out on Monday to hear what it is they have to say. But the reality of what they are doing, my brother, will be exposed to the Grenadian people next week, Wednesday morning. So I ain't interested in hearing what they have to say on Monday. Now, yes, I'll listen. But I ain't really interested in that. It is Wednesday morning when Dr. Mitchell takes the microphone and
That's
he
right.
starts to speak. And you hear him delve into the wickedness that this administration is trying to pass off and what they are attempting to do. It is at that point in time Grenadians go get to know who is man and who is manicu.
But that's the most wicked administration that ever passed in Grenada. I thought the former NDC before this one was bad, but this one is the worst. That one is pure poison. Partner, I've never seen a government so wicked and mischievous. Anyway, let us look and see.
Yes, of course.
All right, sir.
All right, my brother. And you know, we have to understand something too. Sometimes, and it has happened several times with this NDC administration, they have floated things to see how you, the Grenadian people, are going to respond to it. So they may have an intention. And with that intention, they have floated what a possible, not a stated, but a possible intention is. And when they have floated that, they do it to find out how you, the Grenadian people, will respond. And when you respond in one way, they go with it. If you respond in another way, they don't go with it. So, budget day is Monday. There are certain things that they may have the intention of going with. And if you jump on it, yeah, let them talk. Let them go with it Monday. I ain't nothing to say. I know what I know, but I'm not going with it. Yeah, hello, good morning.
Shell and Scott.
Yeah, good night, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'll miss that meeting tomorrow.
You go wrong?
I'll miss it.
You go wrong talking points there?
I don't care what you want to tell me. I'm not changing.
All right.
I want convention start. And I know. Ready start already. Campaign start already. We don't business about that. We start our own campaign and we like it. We just start the order.
All right.
So I will miss that one. I will miss it. I will listen it on Facebook.
Well, we will be broadcasting it via Talking Points, but I don't want people to use that as the excuse not to go. Because we are broadcasting it on Facebook and YouTube, and of course we always prefer people tune in via YouTube because they can't see who is watching. Yeah, so we're going to be broadcasting it, so we encourage people to view. But if you can make it, for instance, if you're in St. John, and you could come down to Beaujeu, come down. Yeah, no excuse. St. John, St. Mark, St. Patrick, and you could come down. Come down.
St. David.
This is the meeting before the budget. So I know Dr. Mitchell has some stuff to say that he has not said in the last two meetings. I would come down to that meeting just to hear what he has to say.
I will be listening.
All right. So I'm looking forward.
So I know Dr. Kit Mitchell say about that budget. I want to see everything. I'm for Monday. I think I work Monday. I'm not going to see the budget.
No. We going and work Monday and think, man. We doing as normal Monday. Are you going to go and take my day off to listen to Mr. Dennis Cornwall? Come on. Seriously and really. I ain't taking no day off to listen to Cornwall.
Good night to Miss Kami. Good night, Kami. I hear your voice, man. I hear you calling, man.
Yeah, take him a day off on Wednesday.
Yeah, Miss Kami, good night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, my brother.
Who talking?
Yes, indeed. All right, my brother. All right. Yeah. You have a blessed one. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. And 347-329-3101. So as I said, tomorrow night, all roads lead. Watch, even the broken one. You could take a little detour if you're coming from the south of the island. And you could go up. In fact, you could pass in, you could pass in, what do you call that road again? You're going up to, you pass around, and you could go and you come back down, you're right. In fact, you're busting out nearly right where you had to be. Well, yeah, if you pass through Grenville Vale and so on, nice. You're passing up in Mount Kuma Road, right? And you're coming wrong, and you could end up in Beaujeu with the meeting taking place. Or if you're coming down from the West Coast, West Coast people, yeah, I realize all you're very energetic and you're very lively. I've seen you all in action over the weekend. So we're looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow night. Right? Those of you in St. David. And remember, folks, the St. David Women's Arm, they've got their barbecue taking place this Friday. So contact the constituency office, contact one of the members of the constituency branch there, or you just drive on up there or take a bus or whatever and support the barbecue that's taking place there on Friday. Now, the St. Patrick West constituency branch, they have postponed their barbecue that was supposed to be taking place this weekend. Of course, due to the death of Sister Nadine, they have decided to postpone their barbecue to the 15th of November. So their barbecue is off. And we know that the St. John constituency branch, PD4, they have a barbecue that's taking place on Saturday. That's close to the Grand Roy Medical Station. The same place they had the barbecue the other day. Yeah, they go have a luncheon and barbecue starting from 11. They're going to be up there, so you could go on out and give them your support. All right? Nice. So St. David have their thing. Then St. George Northwest. Where is it? St. George Northwest. They've also got, right? They've also got their activity. Yeah, they've got their activity. I'm trying to get it there. Sure, Tati sent that to me. Right. So they've got their activity taking place this Friday, and that's from 12 p.m. They've got barbecue chicken, rice, potato salad, green salad. So that's the St. George Northwest Fundraising Committee. They've got their barbecue luncheon this Friday as well. So like I have to eat multiple barbecues on Friday. We've got a call online. Good night.
Sheldon, good night.
Good night, my bro. How are you?
Our audience. Listen, me. I want to have some couple of discussions with you. Not well. I don't want to be long because other people want to call too. But
you go right ahead, my friend.
Firstly, let me ask you a question. What is happening to this law with this playing field and them? You have any idea?
Well, again, I am very interested in hearing how people explain themselves during the budget presentation next week, because outside of the actual budget presentation on Monday by the Minister of Finance, Mr. Dennis Cornwall, on Wednesday, Dr. Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will be doing his response. After his response, each of the ministers and members on the opposition side will be having an opportunity to respond. So it might be 2 from the government side, 1 from the NNP side, 2 from the government side, 1 from the NNP. I don't know what the speaking order is, but due to the 2/3 that they have, I'd expect it to flow something like that. So we're looking forward to hear what is being said next week. So I expect Mr. Ron Reddit to explain to us certain things in relation to that, because as it is right now, it's illegal for you to even pass in a playing field without permission.
Yeah, but the reason why I ask you that, don't I notice down in Tantin there, all the schools and them is in Old Trafford? I've seen them there. The TMRC Community College students, the Anglican High School, the other school in the back. You know, I see everybody is there, so I was wondering how come, and they have a law for that. The next point I want to raise, I know budget is coming. Man, I see hard work. They're doing a lot of work, patching road here and patching road the other place. You seen Labary Junction? After I passed Labary Junction, I was going to Penmutter yesterday, and I had to stay there for around 5 minutes before I could pass because I was waiting because they walk in the road. Just on the, after I passed Labary Junction coming up, you have a kind of curve there on the top side.
Okay.
You see they're doing a lot of work there. Additionally, I see all the bridges and what do you call it? What it is? Everything is black and white. When you paint in black and white, that is death, you know.
I ain't taking part in that one.
No, but black and white, when you go to funeral, is death, you know. But I wonder really what's going on. And the last point I want to make to you, and I think the listening public, I want them to probably have a look. I was looking at Caribbean American news today, and I saw a gentleman, well, I saw him a couple of weeks ago, Pastor Garfield. He was having a program there, and he and others was lambasting the Grenada Prime Minister as per usual. And I hear he end up saying, during this speech, he said that he have a bombshell for the Grenadian Prime Minister. I think his Prime Minister, I don't think he said leader, the Grenadian Prime Minister. So I was listening to hear about the bombshell, but he didn't say anything. He just continued because people started calling the program and so on. And I didn't hear anything, so I don't know if it's later. Because St. Lucia is having they're having a match tomorrow. They started thing. I don't know. When is election up there? You have any idea?
Election day is in about 3 years, but there's a possibility it may be quite earlier than that.
Yeah, because
they had elections in 2021.
Thing from tomorrow.
Yeah, they've had elections in late June 2021, and as such, they're two and a half years in.
Almost like Grenada then.
Well, Grenada was June 2022, but they were they were July. Sorry, not June. July 2020. Was it June or July? Late June 2021.
Yeah,
right?
because
yeah.
I want the people on them, our listeners. When I said our listeners, the audience on the program, they must try to locate that news. You have a lot of things being said about St. Lucia and Grenada, you know.
Yeah, don't worry. I will definitely. I can promise you. I can get the leader of His Majesty's opposition in St. Lucia. I will have him on the program with me very soon.
I think if
He's my good friend.
That, I think I saw him speaking, you know. And I'm certain.
He's my good friend, you know, Mr. Alan Chasney.
Okay, yeah.
I know him personally.
I heard you sort of saying that I usually have a lot of friends in St. Vincent during the intervention down here. Remember it was the intervention. Remember when they had the Caribbean forces down here?
Yeah.
And plus when I went on other things, business, I met a lot of them, but you know, not in correspondence with them that you get to forget them, but I had a lot of friends of the too. In any case, that is just a short point I wanted to make tonight. So
all right, my
just
brother.
have a good night and the listening public.
You know we love to hear you. Thank you so very much, bro. All right. Yeah, somebody asking me what's wrong with my voice. Well, yeah, you know it have a flu going around. Well, he trying to take me, but he ain't gonna take me. But he trying his best to take me. All right. 4407377 and 347-329-3101. You know, there's also something else that's happening, and I think we are not paying attention to it. But there may be serious repercussions for countries like Grenada from what I perceive is taking place there. Now, you have a situation where you have a situation there between Venezuela and Guyana. And I won't go deep into it tonight, but I'll say this, that remember, Grenada, yes, we also share a border with Venezuela. In the same way that Guyana shares a border with Venezuela, Trinidad shares a border with Venezuela, we, Grenada, share a border, a maritime border with Venezuela as well. And while we love our Venezuelan brothers and sisters, and over the years you've had numerous Grenadians who have been living in Venezuela, and Venezuelans who have been living in Grenada, and we've had perfect relations and so on. What is taking place between Guyana and Venezuela ought to be of concern to countries like Grenada. We've not heard our government speaking in relation to that. The possibility that there may be actual violence between, and we hope that it does not come to that, but actual violence between Venezuela and Guyana. You're hearing of the U.S. sending troops down to Guyana to protect the border, that Venezuela is claiming 2/3 of the territory of Guyana, all this sort of thing. So we're hoping that a proper and peaceful resolution comes to this issue, because Grenada, it could start with Guyana, it could move to our next G, it could move to Grenada, because we also share a border with Venezuela. Yeah? We, yes, us, we share a border with Venezuela. So it could start with Guyana and it could move to Grenada too, you know. So we have to keep an eye on what is taking place down there. I won't go into it in depth tonight. In fact, I should have gone into that when I had Mr. Oliver Joseph on the other night. I won't go into in depth on it tonight, but I will say that we have to keep an eye on what is taking place between Venezuela and Guyana, because the same as Guyana, who shares a border with Venezuela, that Venezuela is now contending. We, Grenada, also share a border. Your government, we know the Minister of Foreign Affairs is too busy lying to you. We know the Prime Minister is too busy lying to you to take the time to tell you anything about what is happening. We know they're too busy. Yeah. Yeah, they're too busy lying to you to be able to tell you. Somebody sent something to me that has me laughing. Yeah, they're too busy lying to you to talk to you about these issues, because there may be repercussions in the near to medium term in relation to what takes place there. All right, so we have to be looking out at that. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Yeah, if our country is having, Venezuela is having an issue with Guyana and their borders, and we also have a border with Venezuela. Yes, Grenada, your country has a border. Don't think that we're quite up here. We have a border, a maritime border with Venezuela that has not been settled. So it means that there is a possibility that we may also end up in a confusion in the near future with Venezuela as well. All right, there may be contention. All right, so we have to look at that as well. All right, again, 440-7377. So we're looking forward to seeing all of you in Bujeju. All right, looking forward to seeing all of you up there in Bujeju tomorrow night. All right, and folks, also have to remind you all of something with the my good friends at the Wester Hall Music School. Send the information over to me, please. Right, I have to. Why is everybody just sending me over and over that? Every time I take a look at my computer, people are sending me that information in relation. I've known of this for the last how much weeks, folks. I've not said anything because, again, let the government say what they have to say. I mean, right now, we could talk about it, but let me hear from the government themselves. Don't send it. I'm not interested. I see it already. All of you that listening, stop sending it. I know. All right, nice. You're just tying up my phone right now. Right. Let the government say what they have to say on Monday now. While you hurry, so let them say what they have to say on Monday. When they say what they have to say on Monday, just know that on Wednesday, each and every one of us that can should make it down to the Grenada Trade Center so we can hear what has to be said in relation to the budget of 2024. And folks, you know, we've been speaking about the Samoa Agreement as well. And, you know, over the last 24 hours or so, I've started receiving additional information in relation to that. We've been hearing from the Archbishop, I believe now it's in St. Lucia. We've been hearing from him. Let's hear what he has to say. Because right now, remember, our government tell us they ain't signing and then they go and they sign. On the same day that they tell us they ain't signing and they go look over and Prime Minister say he ain't read and so. So let's hear what this Archbishop in St. Lucia had to say in relation to the Samoa Agreement.
The wolves will not come and snatch the faithful. And there are many things, brothers and sisters, in our world today that are snatching our faithful. You would have heard of the gathering in Samoa that was to take place on the 15th of this month, 3 days ago, where the members of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States along with the European Union, were to sign an agreement on certain issues, social issues that impinge upon the world or the people of these nations. And they were presented with this document which they were to sign. But fortunately, that many states refrained from signing. There were 79 countries represented at that, or there were to be 79 countries represented at that gathering. And as we have it, that about 35 countries did not sign that treaty, that agreement. 20 from the African countries, 6 from the Pacific, and 9 from the Caribbean. Fortunately, 9 from the Caribbean, including St. Lucia, did not sign it. So I really want to commend our Caribbean people for that. Now, what is the content of this agreement? It deals with issues that are current today, that are in the air, and that we're being asked to take decisions on them. Now, the question for us as Christians is, how are those decisions going to affect what we believe is true? So there were issues like abortion, rights of the LGBTQ, then we had the transgender issues, and comprehensive sex education in schools and everywhere. The position that the governments held, those that didn't sign, is that they needed more clarification on the various aspects of what they've been asked to agree on. And these are very, very important issues that we need to look at. How they impinge on what we believe to be true, what we believe to be biblical, what we believe to be what God is asking of us. Of course, our world is being reinterpreted today. Male and female is being reinterpreted today. Challenging issues. And how does the pastor, how does the parish priest keep the people informed and to understand where they need to be led, in which direction they need to be led? That also is the responsibility of the parish priest, to be eternally vigilant. We're just preparing to enter into the season of Advent in the next 2 weeks. And the trend of all the readings during Advent will be stand ready, stay awake, stand ready, for the kingdom of God is close at hand. How to be vigilant so that the wolves of the world, whatever form of wolves that exist in our world, will not come and snatch the faith. And I can tell you, brothers and sisters, today is becoming more and more difficult to be Christian. More and more difficult to be Christian. And the role of the parish priest is to help people, to give people guidance, so that he, in accordance to his belief, what he's convinced of, that he can lead the people to God and eventually to salvation.
Yes, folks. So you've heard you've heard what the Archbishop down there in Trinidad have to say. You've heard what St. Lucia has to say. Apparently, those in Grenada, maybe they're busy, they can't say anything, but we have not heard from them. But it should not just be the head of the Catholic churches speaking out, because I can tell you that before election 2022, there were many church leaders in this country, because some of them believe that they are beyond reproach because they name pastor. I don't care what your name is. Yeah, you're not God. But there are many of them who, because they name pastor, had the worst to say about the new National Party. There are many of them that was on the pulpit on every Sunday, and some of them on a Saturday, and some of them during the week as well, having the worst things to say about the new National Party, the members of the new National Party, and the government at that point in time. But all of them seem to have gotten, maybe they're too busy counting collection. Maybe that's why some of them can't talk. And I'll say it as it is. Who vex them is not God. They can't decide if I go to heaven or not. So me afraid none of them. Because there seems to be this kind of thing where some people are afraid to call out the religious community for the hypocrites that they are. Because I cannot understand that something like this has been signed by the government here. And throughout the region, you have religious people speaking about this bill. Well, not this bill, but this agreement. And speaking about different aspects of this agreement. And how unchristian, and not just unchristian, it goes against Islam. It goes against every single mainstream religion and even some non-mainstream. It goes against Rastafarianism. Whether you're 12 tribes, whether you're House of Israel, whether you're Bongo Nati, whatever, Nyabingi, whatever you are, it goes against it. So it goes against whichever religion or whichever denomination of religion that you are, it goes against it. But the same pastors that had the nastiest things to say, who was taking some of these same people that signed this agreement and had them lifting them up in the church and saying, let's pray for this one and let's pray for that one. Some of those same pastors, like the hypocrites that they are, have nothing to say right now. You know them. You've been sitting there in the congregation when they were saying the things that they were saying. And it is up to you, not me. It's up to you to call them out. Because they had nothing good to say. When there was the perception, it was not reality, but it was the perception of these individuals that when we were speaking of constitutional reform, they believed falsely so it was wrong. I can tell you for a fact, I'm not guessing this, and I'm not just saying this, I can tell you for a fact it was wrong. They were saying that we were trying to bring in gender equity and you were trying to bring things like a man could marry a man and a woman could marry a woman. Remember, these were the same people that were on radio with programs. These were the same people that were on the internet. These were the same people that were coming into the church on a weekly basis and they had the worst things to say to ensure that the constitutional reform process failed. These were the same people. But now they have a government in office that has signed to it. But not only it, they signed it with a lie. Because they said to you, the Grenadian people, we will not sign until we double checked. And they lied to the Grenadian people. So not only that they sign it, but they lie and sign it. Yeah? They've lied and signed it. None of the churches have anything to say. Religious leaders, Trinidad, Jamaica, yeah, Barbados, St. Lucia, they're all speaking out about different aspects of this. But those in Grenada seem to have a case, a mutitis. They have nothing to say. In the same way I had to face God, those religious leaders had to face God too. They are not the ones that are going to be opening the gate. They don't have the key to the gates to heaven. They are fallible, just as me and you. They don't have the gates. They don't have the keys to the gate. But they have a responsibility as the shepherd of the flock to speak out in relation to these issues. Prime Minister basically tell all of them, shut up. There's a separation between church and state. He didn't know that when he burning candle on stage. He didn't know that when he was going into your churches and you all were laying hands on him and saying, God has blessed you and you are to become the leader of this country. You all didn't know that there was a separation between church and state at that point in time. You all didn't know when you were looking for the vote in the church. They didn't know there was a separation between church and state. But now that they wanted to sign what they signed, they know now there's a separation between church and state. All of a sudden, there's a separation between church and state in Grenada. Yeah? So while the church leaders, and these are really leaders in other countries, are speaking out about this particular issue, those in Grenada, tell me, have you heard them? Have you heard the church in Grenada speaking out? And I'm not just going to pick at any particular denomination in Grenada. Yeah? Have you heard them speaking out? You've seen, I mean, if you check the page of people like, for instance, and let's look at not even Christianity, people like Mr. Azam Rahman, they have been very vociferous and anti this sort of issue. And he's a general secretary of the party that signed it. I hear you talking. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good night.
Yes, good night. Good evening, Brother Sheldon.
Pastor, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
So I continue to air my voice. Now, as I said before, I am not a part of the Grenada Conference of Churches. None of these bodies. I'm not a part of that body. I pastor a very small congregation, the Providence Independent Bible Baptist Church, right? Very small congregation, and I filled them out on Sunday. I filled them out. We discussed the thing, and not one of them is in agreement with what our leaders, our Prime Minister, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the Ambassador did. Now, I've heard Mr. Terry Forrester, right, propping up and making excuse for the Prime Minister and his cabinet for that decision. Now, let me say this to us, Grenadians. Everything rise and fall on leadership, on leaders. So the Prime Minister said that he did not even read, he had not read the document. Mr. Andal, the Honorable Joseph Andal, made it clear that he did not give his full support or study the document, but what he said, that we should not fall for things like that or make a harsh decision. Okay? And I agree with him. When that had been said, we had the document already signed based on the time, time zone and all of that. Mm-hmm. Now, what I find strange, Brother Sheldon and our good friends here in Grenada, what I find strange, that if it was the new National Party that was in office, and a matter of fact, even a ship, one tourist ship came to Grenada when NNP was in government, and the news flashed, people ran them back to the ship, had so much to say about the Prime Minister of the day that was Dr. Kit Mitchell. So much. I was in town the afternoon, and I stood up and saw people running. See what Kit Mitchell do? Look at Kit Mitchell, he long a whole boatload of gay people in town. Right? Now you see the hypocrisy? Some of the same pastors, we could name them, pastors, who stood in the pulpit, I know of some of them, influence the people. And a matter of fact, if they know that you're a supporter of the NNP, they would get down on you, they would ostracize you, they would castrate you, they would separate themselves from you because, okay, you know a black belly ship because they find out who you support. And that's why I always say to our Grenadian people, read the constitution of this country. Until now, as I speak, we have a right to associate, a right to assemble, right? Assemble ourselves with whoever we want to assemble with, be it political organization, religious organization, anybody that the Constitution gives us the rights. You could do it openly. As you know, I don't wear colors, right? I don't wear color, I don't wear handband, nothing like that. And you know the only reason why is because once you start to show yourself as to who you support. I mean, I run a music school, you know, and we at the school here, we don't only have NNP, you know, children in school. We have different, you know, people have different political persuasion in school. But guess what? Guess what? If they do, some of them hear my voice from time to time, they would lessen the children coming to school. They would not send them to the school. And that is a part of victimization and a part of want you to toe the same line with them. You see? So I am not afraid because the Constitution gives me the right. I have a bold and independent stand to take of my political conviction, just as my religious conviction. So I am so sorry for Grenada. I'm so sorry for those persons who put up themselves as leaders, or who Grenadians put up as leaders. I certainly didn't put them up. And even the pastors that are in the pulpit, that are standing and praying and saying that we have the best thing, that the best slice of bread ever is this government. But listen, I am so embarrassed. Hearing people from the diaspora, people from all over the world calling, you know, different radio stations, radio programs, and crying shame on the government, the Grenadian government, for what the decision that they have taken. I am not saying that we cannot benefit from some of the things that they sign on, but guess what? It would be better for us not to benefit some of the things that are in that agreement, right? As up against the danger, the detriment, the practice that would be practiced in our country. I, as pastor, if they come to me to marry them and I refrain, you know, they could jail me for that. They could put a lawsuit on me. They could, the pastors, not me only, the pastors.
Well, because remember, what takes place in the United States is if a same-sex couple come to you as a person who provides a service for weddings and so on, and you refuse to provide that service, you can be taken to court. You are taken to court. You might even lose your license to practice. I know there's several instances of people who own bakeries and were doing cakes and so for weddings. They were approached by same-sex couples. Those couples asked them to do cakes. They refused because they said they don't believe in that, so they refused. And these people were taken to court, and some of them actually lost their license to be able to operate their business and so on. Some had to pay damages.
So that's where we're heading. That's where we're heading. That's where we are heading.
So you're not given a choice.
Guys, that's where we're heading, and I am not too sure if some of the same people that, and there are some of them that say they're Christians, you know. Honorable Delma Thomas, Honorable Philip Telesford, Honorable David Andrews, all these people supposed to be Christians. They are sitting right in the cabinet, right there in the house. Well, except for the Honorable Delma Thomas. I don't think she's a part of the cabinet.
Yet.
They're all in there. And my problem is, brother, that they had been standing strong against the NNP government in the past. Making all type of allegation and all sorts of lies on the Honorable Dr. Mitchell, of some of the false decisions that they said that he had made. But listen, this is worse than a briefcase of money. This is worse than it, way worse than the lies and allegations about the briefcase and other things that they said. Listen, Grenadians, we really need to get up. These people need to smell the coffee. But Brother Sheldon, the thing about it is, can they okay, let's say the Prime Minister recant. Can he recant, by the way? Can he get up and say, no, okay, based on the people annoyance and the vexation of the people of Grenada, we want to take back. Can that happen?
No. It's going to take a extended period of time because we asked that question of Honorable Oliver Joseph when he was here on the program with us, and he said it would take a 5-year period because you have to apply to pull out of the agreement. And then there are consequences to pulling out of these agreements. Because remember, most of these organizations, they have connections with other organizations. So when you're pulling out of an agreement that you signed, people tend to not trust you again. Yeah, because you sign and then you try to pull out. So there are consequences, and it's going to take at least 5 years.
Well, watch me. The kind of message people putting us in, the Kowana Bay, yeah? The Kowana Bay issue. That's one of them. I heard a gentleman this evening call Mr. Pierre program and talking about that Kit Mitchell is the worst, and he's stressing on it. The worst prime minister, about money, $21 million and all kind of baloney. I hate to repeat it, by the way, but just making a point, you know. And the thing about it is that they are not getting the problem. They're not getting the issues. What we're trying to expose them to, they're not getting it. It is either a truth or a lie. It cannot be two of them. It's either false or true. And Grenadians need to stop this political thing in terms of because you're for a party or a government that it can't do anything wrong. Then we need to stop that. We need to call a spade, right? A razor. We need to do that, or else we're going to continue plunging, going deeper into problems in this country. Look what it is right now. Look what it is. And you ain't seen nothing yet. We ain't seen nothing yet. Brother, you take care.
Yeah. No, but before you leave, Pastor, you have that activity coming up. I was going to play the ad, but there's some copyrighted music in the ad. If I play it, I may have my page frozen. Tell us exactly what is coming up and when. Tell us exactly what is coming. I know it's the 17th of December, but give us some information.
Right, 7th of December, 5 o'clock, Trade Center doors will be open. The Westall Music Academy is having this concert. It's an annual concert. We training young people to play music, to read music and so on, write music. Okay, so we are exposing them to the public now, to kind of demonstrate what they have learned over the years that they've been in school, and so on. And every year we have a new set of students. So some of the old ones going to be playing. We have some of the new ones going to be there. So we need you to support them. It's $45 for the adults and $20 for the children. We'll be having a soft bar. We have things to eat, etc., etc. All right, so it's going to be on sale. Those things are going to be on sale.
What age group? What's the age group of the people that will be playing and so on? What's the age range?
We have age range from 9 years. All these kids are 9 years, 9 to 22 years.
And what instruments are they playing?
They're playing the saxophone, the clarinet, the trumpet. They'll be playing the bass guitar, the keyboard, it's gymnastic band. That's this band is made up of youths, young persons who attended the school, and at least they're very mature in the music and they form the band and so forth.
So if someone is interested in having their child involved in the Wester Hall Music Academy, how can they get in contact with you?
Right, so the evening of the concert, we are going to be having someone on a desk with the registration form. You pay $160 EC as a registration fee and $80 monthly. Now they will be getting that $160 would be responsible for all the different materials that you would need throughout the period that you're in school. All right?
All right.
Yes, so and then you could get me on 536-8652.
All right.
So you could get us on that number, or the secretary of the school, my daughter, 449-9707.
All right. Pastor, we'd like to thank you so very much.
Yes, man. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you too for helping. But we send you a new advertisement, so you could look at it. You could listen to it.
Yeah, copyrighted music in that one as well. So same problem.
We don't want to stop.
Yeah, both of them have copyrighted music in it. It will be a strike against the Facebook page and the YouTube.
We're going to apply for permission.
All
We're going to apply for permission.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yes.
And folks, that's basically the reason why there's several songs I don't play on air and so again, because they're copyrighted. And when I play them, there are strikes against the page. And if I continue to play them, what can happen is that the page could be locked and then we have to start from scratch. So I have to be very careful with what I'm playing and so on. Even in an ad, the way that the artificial intelligence that they use, it recognizes the music in the background of an ad. And it's a strike against your page that music is playing and so on. So you may find that I'm not playing ads and I'm not playing this, I'm not playing that and so on. It's because of that, all right? 440-7377, that's 440-7377. You've got the opportunity to call in and tell us your view in relation to this issue. We've heard various religious leaders around the region speaking about this thing. I've told you all, 1,000, what was it? I had it written down somewhere here. 1,826 references to the word shall. In other words, once you've signed, you have to. Only 72 references to may, but 1,826 references to the word shall. And then remember, this is a document. This is not a document that the government only had a few days to look at. It's 403 pages, yes, but let me do the calculation here. It was July 14th, they signed on, it would be November the 22nd, right? So let's see how much days that they had to review this document. I will take this call in the interim. Hello, good night.
Good night.
Hi, good night, caller.
And how are you?
I'm quite fine.
Well, you know something? If this question didn't ask the Prime Minister about the signing, we don't know nothing about that. But it's a good thing the journalist asked him that question,
Of course, it was.
Yes, we have to big up the journalist. Because otherwise I would have swept under the carpet and we don't know nothing. Yes, so that's my contribution.
All right, thank you so very much. 440-7377, that's 440-7377, that's the number for you to call and get into the inside of tonight's program. And I'm just trying to see how long they had before they signed that document. I'm trying to see how long they had to look at the document itself. And let me see, calculations are working out. 4 months and 8 days. So they had 4 months, not a few hours, 4 months, exactly 4 months and 8 days, because the document was made available to all the countries that have signed or didn't sign, etc. All the countries that are involved in this, the document. That document that the Prime Minister said he didn't read was available since the 14th of July, 2023. The document was signed by Grenada on November the 22nd, 2023. That's exactly 4 months and 8 days, or 18 weeks and 5 days, or 131 days. So they had exactly 131 days to read that document. Your Prime Minister, I know, maybe, as I said, maybe he's too busy on the plane. But even if you're on the plane, you have a chance to read. What he's doing on the plane? Eating nuts and drinking Scotch whiskey? I don't know. But he had enough time to read this document. And they also had enough time to bring this document to the Grenadian people. So 131 days, 18 weeks and 5 days, 4 months and 8 days they had with this document. Yeah? Before they signed. And then they came on the day. On the day itself. They came to you, the Grenadian people, saying that they're going to review and they're going to look and they're going to this and they're going to that, and then they just went ahead and they signed the document. All right? Yeah, they just went ahead and they signed the document. Right? So they had all that time, 131 days before they signed it. And your prime minister didn't think it was important to read it, but go ahead, sign. And he can't say that he is not responsible for the signing, because if he's not responsible, he's irresponsible. Yeah, there's only one other option there. There's no gray area when it comes to this particular issue. He's either responsible or he is irresponsible. Yeah? So you're telling me in 18 weeks and 5 days, that our prime minister had no time at all. He didn't have a weekend. Yeah? That the cabinet, nobody in the cabinet look at this document. So you tell me this document didn't actually go to cabinet? What kind of jukutu thing they're operating there? What kind of thing is that? That this document was signed without the proper procedure taking place? That you have people making stupid statements. That's stupid. Anytime you hear them, call and say that they're talking stupidness. Anytime you hear Terence Forrester come with that nonsense again, call and tell Terence Forrester, don't embarrass your intelligence. Stop it. Stop taking you for a fool. That there was some miscommunication. You lie. What miscommunication? The ambassador got instructions to sign. He got instructions to sign. Yeah? Who he got the instructions from is another thing, but he got instructions to sign. He would not go and give Alash a pen unless he got instructions from home base to go and sign that document. 1,826. That's 1,826 references to shall. In other words, you have to. In all that time, 131 days, you couldn't find a 3 or 4 days to read that document. You couldn't find a day to read that document. You couldn't find a week to say, well, okay, I'm going to take a couple of pages each day over that week to read that document. All over the region, religious leaders have found time to read it. In Jamaica, the government has said, no, we need to speak to the people before we sign this thing. Andrew Holness government say, we ain't signing this thing just so. We have to take this thing to the people. Yeah? So in Jamaica, they found the time to ensure that they went through this document and they're going over it. And they may not sign it. They may not sign it. In fact, let's hear what the Jamaicans had to say.
Welcome back. On November 10, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that Jamaica would be delaying its signing of the post-Cotonou Agreement in Samoa, also known as the Samoa Agreement, in order to facilitate ongoing consultations. The Samoa Agreement aims to strengthen cooperation between the EU and her member states and the member states and regions of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States, and highlights key priorities for partnership. It unites 106 countries and approximately 1.5 billion people. Joel Crossfield reports.
The decision by the GOJ to delay the signing was clarified by Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith. The minister's statement comes after a November 9 release from the Jamaica Coalition for a Healthy Society, JCHS, which argued that among other concerns, the agreement will bind Jamaica to undefined human rights obligations tied to trade sanctions, as well as reintroduce comprehensive sexuality education back into schools, despite outrage in 2012 with regards to its content.
The government of Jamaica has determined that it will delay its signing of the post-Cotonou Agreement in Samoa, now known as the Samoa Agreement, in order to facilitate ongoing consultations. Throughout the negotiations, which concluded in 2021, the government had taken on board the views of various stakeholders, including members of civil society.
The signing of the Samoa Agreement is scheduled to take place on November 15. However, for 27 months, the JCHS and 7 other Jamaican NGOs have been pressing upon the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade to take heed of the threats to Jamaica's national sovereignty in the current language of the agreement.
And after what was in fact 3 years of challenging negotiations, the government was satisfied that the language of the text in the final agreement would not supersede Jamaica's domestic legislation. And notwithstanding, the government has taken note of concerns which continue to be raised by stakeholders in the domestic space. So we will continue consultations with the aim of providing assurances regarding the government's unfailing intent to always protect the interests of Jamaica and Jamaicans with the laws of Jamaica as our guide.
Coincidentally, on November 9, guidance was on offer as it relates to the sex education of the nation's school children by Jamaican psychologist Dr. Karen Carpenter during the Pamela McNeil Lecture on Adolescent Pregnancy in collaboration with the Women's Center of Jamaica Foundation, where it was disclosed that 92 adolescent mothers were reintegrated into the formal education system for the 2022 school year. Dr. Carpenter suggests that the taboos surrounding sex education in schools are misplaced and potentially harmful.
I've been told in schools that I have spoken to.
So yes, folks. So we've seen the Jamaicans have said there are concerns. There are many concerns among various people in relation to this particular issue. And rather than sign it, we are going to speak to our people. We're going to find out if they are interested in signing this or not, because we believe that there are serious consequences, the potential for consequences to our sovereignty. Although in the view of the government, they may believe that no, maybe it's not that there's any challenge to our sovereignty or so on, but still, we need to hear from the Jamaican people. Meanwhile, here in Grenada, we ain't signing it. Whoop, lash a pen. Lash a pen. Yeah? Gotta put a pen in a museum, boy. Seriously. Lash a pen. After saying that they're not going to sign it, we get lash a pen in relation to that. Because we have to realize, and over the last 24 hours again, several people have been sending that story out of Jamaica again to me. Now, many of you may know, or many of you may not know, of a situation that exists in Jamaica where the U.S. government, here President Biden, sent down an ambassador to Jamaica who is in a same-sex relationship. In other words, that individual who is male is married to another male. The Jamaican government has refused. They have refused to accredit, I don't know if it's to call it his wife or his husband. I don't know if to say the individual is his wife or his husband. I don't know who is who in the relationship, really and truly. And I really don't want to get into the different dynamics of that. But the Jamaican government have refused to accredit the spouse of that individual, because under Jamaican laws, you can't be married in a same-sex marriage. So they have refused. And there has been a back and forth between Jamaica and the U.S. government in relation to that. But you know, that same U.S. government will not try that in Saudi Arabia. They will not send a same-sex couple to Saudi Arabia and tell the Saudi Arabians that they must accredit them. You could accredit the ambassador, but they will not accredit the spouse. They wouldn't even try or consider or think of sending that sort of relationship to Saudi Arabia. They won't do it to Dubai or Qatar or any of the Middle Eastern oil producing states. They won't do it there. Yet still, they think that it's okay to do it here in the Caribbean. So you see the mindset of some of these countries, that we are little, we are nobody, that we are also in need because of the economic construct that they have done over 3 and 4 and 500 years that they have done. Because of the economic construct that they have put in place, that it is okay to tell us that we have to accept certain things. Other than that, we would not receive things that we justly, even without asking for, should be receiving. So they tell Jamaica that you have to accept an individual who is in a same-sex relationship, and you have to accredit the spouse of that individual. Jamaica say, no, we ain't doing it. So we're not doing it. Yeah? But that is the way that they tend to treat small islands. Who is that? That's Grenada. Don't be surprised that they do it to us sooner or later. Yeah? That's Grenada. We can impose. So President Biden and the US think that it's okay to treat the Caribbean in that way. So when you see the Europeans decide that they want to treat us in that way too, and then instead of standing up the way that the Jamaican government has stood up to this thing, instead of standing up in the same way, our government has decided that, no, we're going to sell out, sign. Then say, let's stand up as men with cojones. Those of you might have children listening. Some of you might understand what I mean by that. But men with cojones, instead of standing up like that and saying, no, we will not accept this. We go make it how we could. We ain't accepting this. They just lied to you, the Grenadian people, lied to the world, really, because they were online when they were doing it. And then, while they're telling you, we ain't going and sign, somebody lash a pen passing behind the back. Lash a pen passing there. Yeah? Remember, these are the same people who are at this time, these are the same individuals that are now at this point in time still giving citizenship to a sanctioned state, Russia. They are still giving citizenship to citizens of Russia, which is a sanctioned state. There are sanctions against them. Grenada signed as one of the OECS territories with a citizenship by investment program. They signed earlier this year that they would not be part of doing that. Yet still, Grenada, in November of 2023, they are still providing citizenship to citizens of that country. We've heard of the situation in St. Kitts where they had to, is it St. Kitts? Yes, where they've had to refund those individuals, but Grenada is basing its money that it has to make in relation to citizenship by investment on the number of Russians that have applied and are waiting for confirmation of their Grenadian citizenship so they can receive their passports, so they can then go and get their US visa and the Canadian visa in it and that kind of thing. And then when Canada and them see, oh, all these Grenadian passports with these Russian names coming from, when they see a Sheldon Scott passport reach up now, they'll say, no, we have to look at this thing careful with these Grenadian passports. And so you might spend all your money and you might go into Barbados to go and get and so, and you realize you have everything in place for you to be able to get your visa and you're turned down. Why? Because of the actions of the Grenadian government. Yeah? Because of the actions of your government. But everybody quiet. Because realize that there is this sort of narrative of silence that's taking place in Grenada. There's this sort of atmosphere of fear in our state of Grenada. Me afraid nobody. Me afraid them. I didn't afraid them when they had 11 seats and NNP had 4. I go afraid them when they have, well, barely have 10 and NNP have 5. I go afraid them. I didn't afraid them then and I ain't afraid them now and I will never be afraid of them. Yeah? The only thing I have to fear is the Most High. I ain't afraid none of them. But they have created an atmosphere of fear. So whether it's the media, because you had the President General of the Public Workers Union come out last week and expose the fact that this government is on the way to statutorizing healthcare, that they are going to privatize/statutarize healthcare in Grenada, that they are going to take all of the hospitals and clinics, etc., out from the Ministry of Health and place them either in private hands or a statutory body. And not one media house take up on the story outside of us here on this program. Not one media house take up on the story and start to investigate or start to talk about it. Everybody have a case of mutitis. So whether it's the church to speak on the issue of the Samoa Agreement, or whether it's the media to speak on the issue of the statutorization of healthcare, which means that me, you, each and every one of us are going to have to dip deeper in our pockets and find more money that we already don't have to pay for healthcare as it is. We're going to have to dip deeper to find money because they're going to statutarize it. And if the President General of the Public Workers Union is telling you that, and the people who he represents are the people that are working within the system that would know what the government is doing. So he ain't saying that just so. Brian Grimes ain't make that statement idly. He made that statement knowing fully well that the government is doing it, and he challenged them. He challenged them on that issue. Not one of them respond. I saw the parliament sitting yesterday. So this is me waiting for the parliament sitting. I said, well, yeah, boy, parliament sitting. Maybe the prime minister is going to give a response to why he was saying one thing and the document was being signed. Maybe the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who was sitting right there, would be able to say, well, okay, this is what happened. This is why we said what we said and the document was signed. The prime minister don't say, The foreign minister don't say, They don't say nothing in relation to that. They did not believe that they should come and apologize like big men to the Grenadian people, because they believe all is stupid. And they believe that Grenadians only have a 3-day memory, so that you only remember an issue for 3 days and after that you forget about that, you go on to something else. That is how they could take $22 million US and give to the people down there, Warren, Newby, and the other people down there with Kimpton. That's why they could take $22 million US and give them. That is why they could refuse to pay the people under the FAIT program, because they believe that you all have a 3-day memory. Although you ain't going to remember that, man. And by the time election come, nobody ain't going to be talking about that. Forget the fact that you have a sitting MP who is acting as prime minister that owes the government of Grenada over $500,000. Forget that. They want you talking about that. They wouldn't address those kind of things. Yeah? Because they believe that you have a 3-day memory. That, yeah, Grenadian go talk about this now and they're done with it. No, I'm talking about it. And we're going to continue to talk about things until they are corrected. So from the moment they have removed it to this point in time, the New National Party, people like myself and those of you that are listening to this program and those on other programs like Mr. Pierre and so, will continue to call on the NDC administration to put back the $150 for the poor and vulnerable in this country. We'll continue to call on them to put it back and even add on something and make it retroactive. So for the year that you all have taken it away from them, give them the retroactive. We'll continue to call on them to do these things. Yeah? But they believe that you all just forget. They believe that we have a 2-day memory. So the Prime Minister could come and make a statement in relation to the IMF years ago, and he believed that's okay, man. Nobody ain't going to remember that. Yeah. So he make his statement in relation to the IMF. And then you have them jumping up and talking about IMF report and, oh, we have a wonderful IMF report, and they go and they're talking about the IMF report and so, but they don't want you to remember. Let's see if we can pull it up. Yeah, let's see if we can pull up what the Prime Minister had to say in relation to IMF reports and so on.
The World Bank doesn't run a country. They've never done so, right? And at the end of the day, saying that you have a good report from the IMF doesn't mean anything if we have significant unemployment, if we have persons who are hungry within our country, if we have children who are not going to school because they do not have access to internet, they do not have access to tablets. And those are the issues we need to talk about, not a report from the IMF ranking.
Okay. Yeah, those are the issues that we need to talk about, not a report from the IMF. Those are the issues that the Prime Minister thinks that we need to speak about. We don't need to be speaking about IMF reports and that sort of thing. Yeah, remember, these are the same people that made sure, because their thing is that they wanted a positive IMF report going into the budget. Yeah? But then they're saying that, no, we shouldn't be talking about IMF report. What we need to be talking about is what is taking place in the country. Mr. Prime Minister so said, that's what we're making sure we do.
Given Grenada an excellent mark on their most recent reviews. I'm not sure which one of you two would like to answer this. And in terms of the handling of the economy during COVID, and what is the of course, anything about this statement would you like to add? Anything about the statement that has been said by the IMF that you would like to add towards this in terms of the excellent mark that we get? Anything you like to add to that? You folks like to add to that?
But
I'm not sure. Who wants to take a go at it? Go ahead.
But I was going to say, I read the statement. I didn't see that the statement said it was an excellent mark. So I'm not sure if I agree with your analysis. I think the statement was simply, frankly, a regurgitation of what was told to the IMF by the government of Grenada. In a nutshell, this was a virtual review of, and these reviews are standard. Because of the challenges posed by COVID-19, the IMF folks did not attend or come to Grenada. It was a virtual review. And coming out of these virtual reviews, the IMF will essentially publish a one-page statement, which is what it did.
So what the Prime Minister, when he was in the opposition there, was saying that basically the IMF is saying whatever the government tell them. Yeah, so it's not that the government is doing so good, that the IMF is basically reporting what the government is telling them. That's what he was saying then. I wonder if his story changed now.
About the statement that has been said by the IMF that you would like to add towards this in terms of the excellent mark that we get. Anything you like to add to that? You folks like to add to that? I'm not sure. Who wants to take a go at it? Go ahead.
But I was going to say, I read the statement. I didn't see that the statement said it was an excellent mark. So I'm not sure if I agree with your analysis. I think the statement was simply, frankly, a regurgitation of what was told to the IMF by the government of Grenada.
Yeah, the statement was a regurgitation of what the IMF was told by the government of Grenada. Let's hear him again. Yeah, that's remember, they going into budget and boast about they get good report from the IMF. So let's hear what he has to say, what he believes about IMF reports.
If I agree with your analysis, I think the statement was simply, frankly, a regurgitation of what was told to the IMF by the government of Grenada.
So that's what he believes. It's a regurgitation. So government tell you things good and the IMF say, wow, things good in Grenada. Yeah, that's what he said. Nice. So we've heard what he had to say in relation to IMF reports. We've heard what Mr. Deacon Mitchell has to say in relation to IMF reports and the state of Grenada. Yeah. And I see a discussion taking place there in relation to the possible return of the 150. And I'll say this, NNPites, if and when the money is returned to the people under the seed program, you need to pat yourselves on the back and make a victory lap because it happened because of you. We have a caller online. Good night. Hello.
Good night, sir.
Hi, good night.
Yes, good night. I'm just a bit, I have just been receiving the information quietly and taking it all in. And I mean, we're trying to get out of slavery, and here we are back into slavery with the same set of persons or the European Unions. You hearing me?
Go ahead, caller. We're hearing you. Go ahead.
Sorry. Um, Same set of persons dictating to us what we should and shouldn't um do. I'm thinking that we trying to get away from it, but I guess we can't. But at the same time, I'm just baffled that Grenadians are sitting quietly, taking it all in. You know, I mean, we have all of the evidence that these people are lying. They have lied. We have all of the evidence of the of all of the things that they're saying, and it's like it's like we're taking it as if it's okay, and to me it's not okay. Just I mean, how many Grenadians knew that there was a trade agreement going on in the Samoa about the Samoa trade agreement? How many Grenadians knew about the Samoa trade agreement? Was it spoken of before? Were we told that and then all of a sudden, brother, a news reporter asked the Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs this question out of the blue. And here we are. Then we know of a trade agreement and then the content of the trade agreement. Now, this is so unfortunate. And we are sitting, and you know what is most baffling to me? Is the fact that you have the trade union councils, you have the Friends of the Earth, the Sandra Fergusons, you have all of the persons who are so vocal back in the day when the other government was in power, and they're not saying one word, not a word. With all of this, I mean, forget about what is in the trade agreement, but here you have a sitting prime minister and his colleague deliberately lying to the Grenadian public about a serious to me it's catastrophic, because I mean, a serious issue as that, and nobody is calling out the Prime Minister. I am calling him out. I am calling out this Prime Minister. He needs to go. His head should be on the block for such a deliberate deception. A deliberate, I mean, it's not even misinformation, it's a deliberate deception to the Grenadian people. And here we are talking about this, and he has to go. And then it is catastrophic in the sense that once you sign this agreement and people say no, and in constitution and had to change, and the laws in the parliament, I mean, come on, it's a signed agreement, so you must adjust whatever it is, parliament, whatever they have to do in order for the Grenadian, not me, I don't want no part of it, to benefit, for the government to benefit, the trickle down. So if it means that they have to adjust the buggery laws, or they have to come and teach my child and tell my child that it's okay for certain things to happen, and it's not, because there is a reason why things are in the closet. If it wasn't, if it was okay, it wouldn't be in the closet. If it was okay, they wouldn't be fighting to get you and me to believe that it's okay. And if it was okay, if it was something that was so right and okay, they would not try to tell you that we are how you call when you homophobic or whatever the word is again. They would not tell you that you must and bound to and abide by changing the laws, because it's if it was okay, it would be already there. It is not okay. And nobody, no teacher, nobody in Grenada is going to teach my child what I have already, or my children, what I've already told them, and try to twist their minds and make them feel that it's okay to say you're not female or male and call yourself it, and it's okay to say that you're not he or she and you could associate yourself with a tree. And if you feel like you're not male and female, when you grow up, you're going to decide what you are. When I carried my child in my womb for 9 months and produced a sex, male or female, the only sex that exists in the world, male or female, the only sex in the world that creates reproduction. You hear me? Anybody who choose to abide by their lifestyle, that's their prerogative. But I am saying that nobody is going to come and indoctrinate my children and my child that this is that, and you have 20 something different sexes, and it's okay when you get big and you decide that you don't want to be a male, you could be a female. Nobody. But moreover is the fact that you have a prime minister lying blatantly to the Grenadian public that they did not sign a document, and you have hours after. I mean, why
not only that they didn't sign, my friend. Not only that they didn't sign, but that they will not sign until they have reviewed and the technocrats would have a look and so on. Until.
And can you imagine how incompetent of a prime minister he is, that he could come and tell me, say to me that he didn't read a document, like he didn't read the document. How incompetent, how irresponsible, there's no words to describe you as a leader.
No, there are several. We just can't say some of them on air, but there are several.
But I'm telling you,
I can find some adjectives.
You, as a prime minister, come and tell me that you are the head of them all, and you're saying to me that you didn't read the document, but it's okay. It's okay for your ambassador to sign this document. That's what you're saying to me? That you ain't read it? It's okay. Go ahead and sign it. That's what you're saying to me, and you are still there? I don't understand this. This man could have signed away all our rights. A document could come, and you could say, well, look, I want all black people in Grenada to submit. We're going to come and enslave you all again. And the man is going to tell me that he didn't read the document, and I have to take it like that. And it's okay as a Grenadians, the supporters, it's okay, because there are other parts of the document that are beneficial to Grenadians. But we were sold. We have been sold. And Grenadians are sitting there and not saying a word. The people who are vocal in the past are not saying a word. I guess they're all part of the same team. I guess they're all part of the same I can't. This is baffling to me. There's other issues, but this one, I mean, you can't tell me as not as the Grenadian Prime Minister that is okay to just come and tell me, well, I didn't read the document, and then I didn't read the document, and we going to, you didn't even come to us. You didn't say nothing to us. At least Jamaica said they had 3 years. How much? 27? How much months debating this Samoa Agreement?
Well, not the Samoa Agreement, but different aspects of what is now contained in the Samoa Agreement, because the final agreement was only available on July the 14th, which means that between when it's available and signing it, our government had 131 days to look over agreement that the Prime Minister say he ain't read.
That's my point. That's my point. They knew they were discussing it. There was no discussion. And you come in and tell us, if it wasn't for that reporter, we would have never no Grenada sign on to this. We would have, well, I mean, they tell us they didn't sign. But if it wasn't for this reporter, we would not have been privy to all of this information, to all of these discussions that we're having here now. And it's sad because I am not, I don't stand up for that one. My child ain't going in a school in Grenada if they bring this stupidness here. I'm telling you, and I mean what I say. Because trust me, I'm here. Because let me tell you before I go, I'm here, and all of the Netflix programs, all the commercials now on cable, and all of the internet and the Facebooks, they have already started their agenda.
But they started that agenda a long time ago.
Nonsense. Yes, the agenda has been there a long time ago. So you trying as a parent to explain to your children that these things are not, it's male and female and not male and male, because you cannot produce, and that's the whole point of the sexual productive system, is to produce. And if you don't produce, it means, and here we are as a small state, 100,000 people, and I say we're not producing enough, and you come in and impose more nonsense on us so that we can produce more again. And that will be an annihilation of a whole country. Anyway,
we're going to talk
have a good night,
All right, my dear. 440-7377. That's a 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. A reminder, tomorrow, so you know what that means as well tomorrow. No talking points. We're going to be broadcasting that meeting from Bujeju tomorrow night. So as a result of that, we will not be having talking points tomorrow night, but you can tune in from roughly about 6:30. Yeah, we will be broadcasting the meeting in Bujeju. So again, there will be no talking points tomorrow night, but we will be broadcasting the meeting that's taking place in Bujeju tomorrow night. And let me just grab this call. Hello, good night.
Mr. Sheldon.
Yes, sir. I'm quite fine.
Good night, good night. I was soaking in what the last caller was saying, and I could hear the passion in her voice.
Yes, yes.
And I wonder who she is. I think she should consider getting involved in public life.
She has been. I
No,
know the individual.
I'm talking about, not when I say public life, I'm talking about get herself in a parliament. Because she is one who would be able to articulate on behalf of a constituent. But I heard you made a statement a while ago concerning Terry Forrest. So I didn't hear exactly what you said. Was he saying that the ambassador did not misunderstood the instruction?
No, he's saying that the ambassador, there was a mishap in relation to how the information was relayed to the ambassador. I mean, come on, man. Seriously.
I mean,
if they want to use an excuse, use a proper excuse.
I'm pretending that I can understand. There's a mishap.
Yeah, there's some miscommunication.
He did not get instructions to sign, and he signed? Is that what he's saying?
That's basically what he's trying to infer.
And the ambassador is not back? He hasn't recalled? I mean, there have to be consequences of an action, right?
Yeah.
If the ambassador signed without being instructed to sign, or he misunderstood the instructions, the first thing that should happen is that the ambassador should be recalled.
Mm-hmm.
Because you cannot allow someone who represents your country to make such a grave error and remain in his post.
Well, here's what. Hold a second. Let me play what he said.
Okay. Now, out of the 79 member states, a few, maybe about less than half a dozen, are still studying the document because of the enormity of it. And Grenada was still studying the document. Now, our ambassador in Brussels, there was a little bit of time lapse between the instructions given to him and the press conference. And at the time of the press conference, that information was not yet shared with the ambassador. So there was a little bit of mishap and mistiming between the press conference and the ambassador receiving instructions.
So I hope you've heard that, what I just played.
Look, Sheldon, listen. I mean, however you put it, right? However you put it, it makes absolutely no sense.
Of course it makes no sense.
Because...
In fact, in my view, Mr. Forrester needs to be fired as well. Because he, as an ambassador himself, has lied and attempted to mislead the Grenadian people.
Well, because I don't understand it. Because the time, if we're talking about time lapse, right, and say, well, they're probably 8 hours difference, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs would not be able in 8 hours to clarify the things that, especially the Foreign Minister, saying that has him kind of, iffy. You can't do that in 8 hours, even though you want to spin it that way. But it is concerning, and that's what's happening in Grenada. That Grenadians have reached a stage, most Grenadians, or many Grenadians have reached a stage where they are very reluctant to point out to our leaders that it is not okay to misstep and get away with it. We are giving free passes to our leaders. Mistakes are being made and we are not calling them out because we are putting party politics or party support ahead of the country. I don't know if this Samoa Agreement was ever mentioned in a parliament. I don't know.
I was hoping at yesterday's parliament sitting.
No, I talking about
that it would have,
recent
but
time.
It hasn't. Yeah.
I don't even. I'm not talking about recent time, but we are operating in a country in a way that seems to suggest that the people of Grenada do not have a say in what happens in the country. So cabinet would meet, take decisions, and they would implement the decisions for and on behalf of the country or the people of Grenada. Sometimes we hear about it, other times we don't. A lot of things are happening and Grenadians don't know about it. Mm-hmm. As the lady said, had that reporter didn't ask that question, nobody would have been the wiser. Nobody would have been the wiser. And that's my concern. I think we should go back to the time when the people of Grenada, particularly through their elected representatives, be given an opportunity to know what's happening in our country. Remember when the Minister of Housing said that he didn't bring the issue to the Parliament at all?
To the Cabinet.
He said
spoke
both.
about the Prime Minister. Yeah.
He said both Cabinet and Parliament. But I'm saying, whatever happens in the Cabinet, it's among the ministers. But there are thousands of Grenadians who have elected someone to represent them. I was on a call a couple of days ago with a grouping, and we were talking about the role of Parliament. And I said to the grouping, members of parliament do not know how much power they hold in their hands. A prime minister is serving on the wish of the elected members. If the members who are, particularly for the government in office, if they decide out of 9 or 10, how many? 9, right? Out of 9. If 5 of those members decide, look, we want to change, we don't want this person to be a prime minister anymore, all they have to do is go to the governor general and say, we are now throwing away behind X or Y. And unless the person who is currently the prime minister goes to the parliament and prorogues the parliament, that person is out of being prime minister. Now, they still.
That's why some people don't read the Constitution, bro.
You see, and that's what I'm saying. So many of these MPs think that they could, the prime minister or whoever it is can kick them around, do what they want. No. But they, among themselves, can decide we no longer want you as prime minister. Mm-hmm. That's what is called a palace coup.
And they go to the governor general, and the governor general only has an option, and the prime minister could shortcut
give
it.
Them a time frame, yes. So the prime minister can decide, look, we move into to pro. Mm-hmm. But what I'm hoping, Sheldon, is that some more respect be paid to elected MPs. Because although the MPs might be in opposition, there are a group of people who voted for them. This bill going through all stages in one sitting, to me, it just, what should I say?
It's disrespectful.
Nullifies this whole question about democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Because if...
And we're going to have to... My friend, we're going to have to wrap in the next 45 seconds because I'm barely out of time.
Call you at the wrong time. Anyhow, so
you
we'll
could call early, man.
Another time, right? Okay.
Yeah, because I think there's a possibility I may do a program on Friday night, but I know you can Friday night.
No,
it's outside for you.
Preparing for the
you'll be on Sabbath.
My spiritual journey.
Yes, of course. I know. But there is a high possibility. I'm considering doing a program this Friday night.
Okay.
So for those who can join us on Friday night, but tomorrow night, I definitely will be broadcasting Bourgeois, so I won't be on tomorrow night. But the good thing is that myself and yourself can have a wonderful conversation on Monday night after the reading of the budget statement.
Of the budget, yeah, okay.
So we can have a conversation then.
Okay, take care.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, bye.
And oh boy, and somebody's calling on the overseas line, and they have been calling a while. I'm going to give them just a couple seconds. Hello, good night.
Hey, Sheldon, good night. I know it's about time to wrap up, but let me just throw something out here.
Yeah, go ahead.
This Samoa Agreement that Dum Dum and them signed, I wonder if these guys realize what's really happening. This is both control in a way, because when you bring this gender affirmative, when you bring this thing that will tell you that this gender affirmative, that a boy could be a girl and a girl could be a boy, let me ask you a question. When they're really ready, say 5 years down the line, and they say, well, this lifestyle is not for me, and they want to reproduce, what's going to happen?
Problem. My brother, I've got to run because time is against me.
I know.
All right.
I'll be there on Friday. Don't worry, and I'll be listening to you tomorrow.
All right.
Take care and Godspeed.
Thank you so very much, my brother. Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get out of here. But again, tomorrow night, all roads lead to Bourgeois. So those of you that can make it, yeah, we're heading up to Bourgeois. And for those of you that cannot, we definitely, via Talking Points, the same place you see Talking Points on a nightly basis, We will be broadcasting tomorrow night's activity, but we will be starting at roughly 6:30. So look out for us at 6:30 tomorrow evening, not at 8. We're going to be starting from 6:30. So looking forward to being able to broadcast tomorrow's activity to you all. And because Monday is budget day, we are going to attempt to do this one. I don't know how this one does force me to do it on a Friday, but we will be attempting to do a Friday night program this week. I wasn't going to do it. I said last week I wasn't doing it, but after tonight, I believe I should do a Friday night program this week. Don't get too used to it. I'll get nice with that Friday night program. I'll feel it. So, yeah, so we're going to attempt to do a Friday night program this week. All right. So, again, we will be broadcasting tomorrow, God's willing, from 6:30 p.m., the activity that's taking place in Bujeju. And then we will be following up on Friday night with talking points on Friday night. And in fact, we'll call it the Friday Night Forum. So it's going to be a little different than the normal talking points and so. But this Friday, we're going to have what we call the Friday Night Forum for talking points. All right? So that's going to be happening this Friday. All right? And we're going to try to take that change into the new year. Right? Yeah, we're going to try to the Friday Night Forum into the new year. I did promise that we would do that. We're going to take it into the new year as well. So this Friday, definitely next week Friday, we will be having a program. Next week Friday night, we definitely, for sure, as long as we have good life and health and everything, and God allows us to, we will be having a Friday program next week Friday for sure. But this Friday, we're also attempting to do a program. All right? So, folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful. I apologize immensely to those of you that were trying to get us on the WhatsApp and on the overseas line and on the local line. I saw all the lines going off and so. But you know the depth of the conversation that we were having tonight and will continue to have. So tomorrow, remember, Bujeju, all roads lead to Bujeju. Remember as well, there is the barbecue for St. David's Women. That's taking place this Friday. You also have the St. George Northwest Constituency Branch. They are having their luncheon this Friday as well. On Saturday, you have St. John's. They are having theirs. The one for St. Patrick West that has been postponed. So we have all these activities taking place as well. Folks, it's been wonderful being here. And whatever you say and do it safe and secure. Don't worry. Lash a pen. You see it? That is what happened with Grenada government. Lash a pen. Folks, and everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love each and every one of you. This is Sheldon Scott signing out.
Love I got down in me heart for my country. What can I express? So I always forget to be him. Just be blessed. No matter what the consequence might be, whether day or night, once it's all for the good of my country, I'm ready to fight. So me find it strange, but I never change. My philosophy endures, always country first. So I will climb over the highest wall when my country call. Hail, hail, Grenada, I give myself to thee. Yes, man, that's why I'm playing. I always playing.